Welcome in, everybody. It's Tony Cotillo here, right back on the Alternative Edge, where fantasy insights meet value plays, breaking down the biggest wins, the bad beats, the lessons that'll give you the edge heading into week 6. As always, the Alternative Edge is powered by our good friends over there at BetQL. Make sure you use the code word Jigsaw to get your 15%. In this week 5 recap, as always, man, we're talking MVPs, we're talking busts, we're talking fantasy storylines that actually matter. DFS hits, the props, the cast. I want to hear them all. Let's dive in because your edge starts right here. We're gonna cover a bunch of topics tonight. CMC, the continued dominance. How I was dead wrong, right? We're gonna get into that. Week 5 MVPs, busts, and hidden gems. Buy low and sell high trade targets. Talk about that. Listen, we're going into week 6 right now. We got to talk about that. Waiver wire pretty weak this week. Obviously, as we go on, it's going to get even weaker. We'll talk about must adds, key injuries, and obviously early week 6 outlook with some DFS plays as well. So as always, man, let me know what's going on. How you looking? How's your fantasy team looking? What your bets look like? But we're going to get into everything like we always do right here on the Alternative Edge. Make sure you like and subscribe as always. And if you're very interested about the special promos and deals that I have about like 5 or 6 of them. But again, everybody has them, but it's a matter of who you want to support. So it's completely up to you right there. Scan that QR code and we can get into business right there. Listen, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Christian McCaffrey. I have to talk about it. Because this was a guy that I said I was completely staying away from. And I think a lot of people were staying away from, right? We got in the offseason, or I should say the preseason, we consistently talked about CMC. We talked about where CMC is going to be. We talked about the calf. It's going to be a recurring injury. We talked about the Niners as a whole, where there are too many injuries for him to actually dominate. We talked about could he last, right? Even if he stays healthy, could he last? We also talked about will they drop back some of their usage on Christian McCaffrey? Like, we had so many doubts. At least I know I did. I know I wasn't alone. There was a lot of people. And then we look at it and wow. I mean, that's all I can say is wow. Christian friggin' McCaffrey. This week in PPR formats, he was the 5th best running back in all of fantasy football. But if you just look at his numbers through the course of the year, it's ridiculous. Like, he's actually become Christian McCaffrey of old. He's giving you a 2023 Christian McCaffrey. All right. He's actually averaging 1/10 of a point more than he was at 24.7 in 2023. His highest was 30.1 the back-to-back years in 19 and in Carolina, obviously 2019, 2020, in 29.3 and 30.1. That is a full point PPR format. He's giving you exactly that. This is turn back the clock, Christian McCaffrey. This is turn back the clock to the healthy Christian McCaffrey. And I'll tell you what, I'm loving it. Even though I didn't draft him, even though he's on any of my rosters, I love it for the football player that Christian McCaffrey is. I like success stories. I don't want to see guys get hurt all the time. I don't want to see guys not make their way back. I don't want to see that. And again, I like this. It's good for the game. It's good for you when you're watching on Sundays. It's good for the highlight reels. It's good for the red zone formats. It's good for the fantasy football players. It's good for the sports bettors. It's good for everybody. So bravo to Christian McCaffrey. And I'll tell you what, man, honestly, at the end of the day, how about bravo to Kyle Shanahan for actually saying, you know what, this is my dog. This is who I'm riding with. Right? He said, and I tell you that team up front is playing with a newfound energy. Trent Williams is actually playing like Trent Williams again. There's a lot of good things going on that team right now when it comes to the running game and it comes to Christian McCaffrey. And let's face it, who else do they have? Right? Kendrick Bourne makes a crazy appearance, right? Who would have thought about that? But what else do they have? They have Christian McCaffrey. And that's the beauty of CMC because they have him and the other teams know it and they can't friggin' stop it. They can't friggin' stop it. I love every minute of it. I do. I love it. So did you draft Christian McCaffrey? And if you drafted Christian McCaffrey, let me know. I honestly, I want to know, did you draft him and where did he go? I want to know, where did he go? Did you draft in the first round? Did you feel committed to draft Christian McCaffrey? Did he come back on the reverse? You said, you know what? I just got to take this dude. He's sitting there. I mean, he's legitimately sitting there. How do I not take Christian McCaffrey? And I think a lot of that is what comes out of this, because a lot of people went in here just thinking the same thing. No, should we take him? Should we not? And lo and behold, here goes Christian McCaffrey. And again, he is just he's going to finish as a top 5 running back easily, right? As long as he stays healthy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. That this year, I mean, listen, you talk about Jonathan Taylor, you talk about Javonte Williams. Are you kidding me? Who the hell would have predicted Javonte Williams? Listen, Dallas, we talked about, like, stay away. We don't know what the hell's going on over there. And all of a sudden, it's Javonte Williams' show. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. That's what makes fantasy football so great, right? That's what makes fantasy football so effing great. I love every minute of it. Now, let's get back into the rewind, man. Let's talk about it. Again, if you're checking in, make sure you like and subscribe as always. And again, like I said, let me know, man. Let me know. Did you draft Christian McCaffrey? Where is he at? What's he looking like? What's your team looking like? Are you fighting? Are you 1-4 right now? Right? Are you fighting? I mean, 1-5, like, or 1-4? Yeah, 1-4. Like, what are you looking like right now? That's what I want to know. What are you looking like right now? Because at the end of the day, we're getting closer and closer and closer, man. Like, and that's like you saying, like, we're getting closer to where you have to start. We're getting into this, later. We're getting start. Like right now, I'm sitting at 4-1 in my main league. I'm sitting at 4-1. The team below me 3-2, 2-3, 2-3. Now the other division 4-1, 3-2, and then 2 dudes at 1-4. They need to start thinking about making a move. They need to start making, because you have to look at, do we make a move? My man, see you checking in, says drafted Christian McCaffrey 6th overall. 9. Wow. 9 PPR. That's ballsy. Drafted him 6th overall in a non-PPR league. I see. I don't know how you do the non-PPR. That is just strictly a dinosaur league to me. I know it's a big challenge. I get it. A lot of the big time fantasy players are always like, oh yeah, PPR. That's child's play. You want a real man's game? Let's go to the non-PPR league. I get it. It's fine. But I'll tell you what, man, congrats for being 4-1, because that is not easy to do by drafting Christian McCaffrey in a non-PPR 6 overall. So I'm kudos to you, man. Like I said, I stayed away. I stayed away. And you know what? I stayed away, and now I'm like, damn, why did I do that? Right? Why did I do that? Let's recap. We obviously, what looked good, what looked bad. And we always do top 5s, right? We look at those top 5s. Anybody surprises? Like, go right by the quarterback. How about Sam Darnold? Like, in the first couple of weeks, we were a little worried, right? Thinking about saying, Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold going to be the guy? Right? Can he do exactly what he did last year? Average 22.5. This year's averaging close to 21. Right? So he's right there. But when you look at the first game, you talk about, you're in single digits. You don't even throw a touchdown. Everybody's going, oh no. Right? Oh no. And then listen, he comes back with a decent game against Pittsburgh, throws up a nice 22, 25 spot, depending on how your scoring system works. And then, all right, couple unders under the 20. I always look at 20. Like, if I'm drafting a starting quarterback in fantasy, I need 20. Right? If I'm streaming, I need 15 to 20. If I'm drafting, I need 20. Just simple, right? But then he gives us a big one against Tampa Bay with the 33, 4 touchdowns. Do I expect that every week? Absolutely not. However, it was nice to see. It was nice to see. And unfortunately on that team, what we're finding out, hey, what's up, Frizz? How you doing, brother? How you doing in fantasy this year, my man? How you doing in fantasy this year? All right? For Spencer Strader owners, who's a what? That sucks, by the way. Like, that sucks. Here's a funny thing. I actually thought, because I picked up Strader, that week, right? I had the guy from I had dude from Baltimore, and I was like, you know what? He missed a couple kicks. I was like, I don't know what's going on with that Baltimore offense. It's just crazy. I said, I'm legitimately I'm going to look at who is actually there, and that's Strader, right? He was listen for the season, still even with missing that, he's still the number one kicker, right? So I will say this: it all depends because kickers to me are so easily streamed. The best part, honestly, about this part of the year is looking at okay, what games are coming up, right? You got to look at what games are coming up. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like the early look is what games are coming up, and that's what we have to look at. Okay, we definitely have to look at that. Okay, so looking at what's the highest over and unders. That's the way when I do kickers, I go to Vegas. I go to Vegas right away. I'm like, all right, I'm looking at is there obviously you can't get Brandon Aubrey right from the Cowboys, the highest over and under. You're talking about the Panthers and the Cowboys. That game should definitely have some points. And you think about is Ryan Fitzgerald an option? I don't know, right? You think about it, like I don't know, right? Like because he had a good week because Carolina moved the ball. They were playing Miami. Now could he have another good week? Look, he gave you a stinker against New England with one. So I look at that and go, I can't trust the guy, even though the high over and under is there. I can't trust the guy on a bad team, right? I can't trust the guy on a bad team. All right. So then this is again, this is what I'm going to look at. And you know what? I'm going to share my screen just so you guys know what I'm looking at. Okay. Because again, my partners over there at BetQL, they do a fantastic job. Okay. And they should get credit for it. Obviously, if you're interested in BetQL, use that code word Jigsaw. Okay. And again, you can get that 15% off, and I can help you along the way. So if you look at that, this is what I'm looking at. When I pull up my screen, right, I'm looking at right here at the top. You got the Eagles and the Giants. Everything's in one area, right? You're over and under is 40 and a half. Now I'm going Broncos, Jets, 43 and a half. I would look Cardinals, Colts, obviously. Who's going to be the Colts? I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea who's going to be the Colts kicker. I haven't even looked at it, who they signed, who they're looking at. I'm not sure. But again, I wouldn't even touch it because, again, I don't know this guy coming. He's coming straight from the Waffle House. He's coming off the trash heap. I don't know. Not everything's going to be a Matt Prater story, right? So now listen, Seahawks in Jacksonville, right? That's another one. Could be like Cam Little. Cam Little could be a guy. You look at that game, that this could be a game where, again, here's a solid kicker to me, right? Has he got double digits? Yes, only one time. Only one time. However, he's never had a zero. He's never had a zero, and he's had at least 2 extra points made in every single game. So looking at that, this could be a guy you look at, right? Cam Little could be a guy. Now, here's the other thing you have to look at, right? You have to look at the head coach, Liam Cohen, a guy who again, he's adopted that gotta go strategy. So are you going to have those opportunities to kick those field goals, right? So you have to look at that too, right? You have to look at that too. So that's another game that we could look at, right? That's another game that we could look at. He said, I heard the Colts had tried to say 6 people, they found their new kicker. My man Javon checking in. Michael Badgley today, 6 years of NFL experience. I remember Badgley. So listen, here's the thing. One thing now here's a veteran guy. Like I said, I still, depending on who's available, I think I take a week to see what Badgley has. I need to see some backstory. Has he been in? Listen, and we're not winning a Super Bowl under a kicker. However, with this year being crazy as it is in the NFL, when you talk about fantasy, your kicker could win. It could win your week, right? It could win your week. So look at the Chargers and Dolphins. That's another game, right? The Rams and the Ravens, the Patriots and the Saints. Like I said, again, that's another over and under that's high. So you got to look at the Buck and I'll tell you what, the Bucks and the Niners. Obviously, I know somebody's got Chase McLaughlin. I think we know that, but maybe Eddie Pinheiro. Like, is he out there? right? Is Eddie Pinheiro out there? And again, look, this is a guy who's been consistent, right? There's a team. So I would look at Pinheiro if he's available. Again, I don't have the stats in front of me right now. I will, you know what? This is what I'll do. Let me pull up while we're live here on the air. I'm going to pull up my Yahoo League. Okay. And I'm going to give you an idea on who's available in Yahoo. Okay. As a kicker. All right. And what those percentages are overall roster percentage. Okay. So I can tell you right now, Cam Little is available. He's only rostered at 35%. So if you want to go Jacksonville, I do like Cam Little. I'm going to be honest with you. I do like Cam Little. Eddie Pinheiro is all. Listen, I will tell you this right now. If I'm looking for a kicker, I'm going to throw this out there right now. If I'm looking for a kicker, I am going Eddie Pinheiro. If I'm looking for a kicker, right now, I'm going Eddie Pinheiro. You know why? Because I'm looking at the stats, man. I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at the Niners and going, okay, this team's going to continue to score points, right? I'm looking at it going up. I think that Bucs game is going to be a shootout. I do. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. A lot of opportunities, right? And not to mention, here's a little secret nugget that the way I think. The way I think is Vita Vea is playing out of his mind again, right? Up in the middle of that defense. So Shanahan is going to run right at him. That's what Mike, that I almost said Mike. That's what Kyle Shanahan does. So what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen is there's going to be opportunities to where maybe he wants to run a 3rd-and-1 or a 3rd-and-2 and he gets stuck and they're going to have to kick it. And he's trusted Eddie Pinheiro. Okay. So only rostered in 3% of leagues. He's averaging 8 points a week, man. Like he's averaging 8 points a week. He's got 2 weeks of double digits, 10 and 14. He has 100% field goal percentage. Pinheiro's 100%. So I would go, if you're asking me, I go Pinheiro and Cam Little, right? Sadly, see Eddie. So, hey, how about this, Frizz? Tell me, I'll look at my projections, right? Tell me who the top 3 guys are available in your league, right? Tell me as we go on. Tell me who's available, and I'll help you out. For real. Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way. And then I'll help you out that way, man, for real, because that's what it's all about. Got to help each other, right? We got to help each other here. So we got to help each other. So as you're looking at that I want to bring us back to the quarterbacks of this week and rewind. Who surprised you, right? Who didn't surprise you? Again, Patrick Mahomes. I keep saying it. We hit the bet on Patrick Mahomes. We laddered it. We went the plus money prop, right? Plus money over 23.5 completions. A prop that we laddered it to 24.5. Laddered it to 25.5, which was 26 or more. Got that for plus 166. Okay, boom. Hit that because, again, when the offense is there, meaning the players come back, like Xavier Worthy, when Rashee Rice comes back, they're all, listen, that they just want to throw the friggin' football. That's what they want to do. They want to throw the friggin' football. Okay, and they're going to continue to throw the football. So that's why Patrick Mahomes will consistently be on the top. And I'll tell you what, can I give I'm a clap for me. I'm a clap for me. You know why? Because I remember people telling me I want no part of Patrick Mahomes. Everybody says I want no part of Patrick Mahomes. And I will screenshot every single one of my best ball teams, and every single one of them has Patrick Mahomes on it. I took Patrick Mahomes in every single one of my leagues. You know why? Nobody wanted him. I was like, are you serious? Nobody wants Patrick? I'll take him. Right? I said, I'll take him. No problem. No problem. I will definitely take him. Right? Definitely take him. So I easily am going to ride with Patrick Mahomes. Now, Trevor Lawrence, listen, he has a big game. The mid-level T-Law, never going to expect that. Every now and then, he might give you, a flip of a flip of the coin here, give you a big offensive output. I'm not buying into it one bit. No, Matthew Stafford. Listen, I'll tell you what, Matthew Stafford's another guy that gets so fancy love, but he just consistently, listen, if he's going to keep throwing the ball to Kyren Williams, number one, I love you for it because I love Kyren Williams. He's on all my teams. But number two, Devontae Adams looks like he's 25 years old out there, man. It's insane. Like, you have Devontae, you got Puka, right? You got Kyron in the backfield. Where you got a guy like Tutu just running down the seam. That team's exciting, man. Especially under Sean McVay calling all the offensive plays. So obviously look at Matt Stafford. CJ Stroud finally has yes, there you go. Just getting it. Finally, right, Javon? Finally, CJ Stroud had a breakout game against a banged up Ravens defense. It's like, you want to get back on track. Go what? First of all, what are the odds here? How many times over the years have we said, you want to get back on track? Go face the Ravens. You want to get back on track? Go face the Ravens, man. Like, that's never been a thing. It's crazy. But they just completely obliterated the Ravens. And one of the biggest issues with Houston is the offensive line. Even though CJ Stroud did good, he still was running for his life. That offensive line was still horrendous. So it's going to be a back and forth with CJ Stroud. But one person, it's not going to be back and forth. There's a reason why I drafted Jake Ferguson as my tight end in every single league was Dak Prescott. Like, Dak is just going to continue to throw the ball 40 times. Like, that's what he's going to do. Just continue to throw the ball 40 times. Now, this week against the Jets, he only threw it 29, but the game was just out of hand early. But the previous two matchups, he throws 40, then he throws 52 against the Giants. This dude's going to throw for 40 times every time. If there is a prop for Dak Prescott in attempts at under 37 or 30, let's go 36 and a half, take it every week. Take it every week. It's almost like a solid hit every single week, man. Almost like a solid hit every single week. Yep. For instance, says someone literally as I was looking through the available kickers because they had Boswell on a bye, I was going to go with either Cairo Santos or Joey Sly. Okay, okay. So let me see where they're falling on my chart here. Cairo Santos or Joey Sly. I like it. I like Joey Sly, to be honest with you. I think I just like the name. Like, sometimes I just like names. And then I like, all right, like, what's this guy look like, right? So Sly, right, for me is 7, right? Tennessee, the problem is, I know that the thought process with Tennessee is you get a team that's going to struggle to get in the end zone. The problem is they're going to struggle to move the freaking ball. Like, I don't think I want any part of a Tennessee offense. I'm going to be honest with you. And that means the kicker. Like, I can't, for me, I can't do it. Now, Cairo Santos, again, really good offense. And here's what I like about Santos. I like Santos because you're going to Ben Johnson team. Ben Johnson has just had a bye. They're trying to rewrite the ship a little bit. He's had good games. He's had bad games as a play caller, right? He's still trying to understand his offense. He's still trying to understand his quarterback a little bit. So I actually like the Santos play because I think he's falling down on charts because because they did have a bye. And because they did have a bye, right, that a lot of people aren't looking at him, right? A lot of people aren't looking at him. So I actually think, and let's see, the over and under of that game is, I mean, that's a Monday night game against the Commanders. I mean, you're talking over and under of 50. The over and under is 50. Frizz, I'm telling you right now, it's Santos all day. It's Santos all day. I'm going Cairo Santos all day. Based on Ben Johnson, based on the sneakiness of nobody looking at him, and again, based on the over and under of 50 on a Monday night stage. I mean, that has just points written all over it. I'm in on. I would go Cairo Santos unless you can get Pinheiro. I know he's on waivers now, right? But I mean, maybe you do a 1 for 2, right? You try. Depending on where you're at the waiver chart, you throw it. You throw it in. You throw it in for Pinheiro. But then if that's not available, your next priority is Santos. You know how you can flip it up depending on the player that you're going to drop. So be careful. There's a science behind it, right? There's science behind it, right? But I would definitely. Oh, look, see, Javon Javon checking in. I didn't know that. Keep an eye on Santos. He wasn't at practice today. Ooh, yes. Look at this, man. Look at this. Jake Moody is the Bears. Jake Moody, you could have hit a field goal in San Francisco. My God. So there you go. Frizz, if you're on X, make sure you go follow Javon. J Alfred 10. J Alfred 10. Make sure you go give him a follow. Javon's always in here dropping nuggets, man. He's a great mind. And he just gave me this. I had no idea. Keep an eye on Santos says wasn't at practice today. So I mean, there you go. We might have to make a different decision, right? So I might have to make a different decision. I hope you. Oh, exactly. Oh God, not Moody, not Moody. Again, this is I am Tony Catillo right here. This is the Alternative Edge. Make sure you like and subscribe. The Alternative Edge is powered by our good friends over there at BetQL. Make sure you use the 15% off code to save on any monthly subscription for 2 or more sports, right? Because look, we're coming. Hockey just started tonight. NBA's coming. You still got MLB playoffs going on, right? And obviously NFL. So there's a lot of, you're always going to want those subscriptions. Like I said, it breaks down everything in one page, and I can obviously help you if you don't understand. It's one thing that I always promise to do. 100%. I don't leave anybody hanging, right? I don't leave anybody hanging. If you scan that QR code right there for the promos and special deals, go follow the free Discord. It is free. FREE, 100% free over there on the Discord. Check it out. Okay. And again, that's going to be where we could get the conversation going, talk about some free picks, talk about some free plays, and things of that nature. Because like I said, I don't want to live on social media. But again, I know it's part of the job when you do this kind of thing. I just don't want to live on there. So 100%. Let's get to some running backs. Because the running back game, I mean, listen, they're falling, man. Like the running backs are falling, right? They are. I think we know that, but so I know a lot of people are running the waiver wire. We have to let's talk about Omarion Hampton news. Omarion Hampton. Man, I get so I don't know why that bothers me. Omarion. Like I don't know, certain words just they stifle me a little bit. I don't know why. But Hampton goes in IR, which means he's on there for at least 4 weeks. Brenton Strange went on IR. He's on there for at least 4 weeks. It's a shame. He was having a promising season. But looking at Hampton, I don't know how much you want to buy into Haskins or Rydell. I don't know. I know Harbaugh's gonna run the ball. I get it, but I just don't know how much you want to invest, especially if you're talking fab money, right? I don't know how much you want to invest in one of these guys. I still think they're gonna go out and make a trade. I do, because it's not a foregone conclusion that he's gonna come back in week 4. It's just he's out at least for 4 weeks. So again, I don't, you have to look at that. And yeah, I'm just not too sure. Okay, that I want to spend for those guys. I really don't. But play of the week was Kyron Williams, and I will tell you this about Kyron, man. Number one, I'm extremely happy because I drafted Kyron Williams. I expected him to have him and Chase Brown were in my top 3 for running backs. It's a shame what's going on with Chase Brown. I still have hope for Chase Brown. I couldn't foresee the Joe Burrow injury and the terrible play by Browning. I know they traded for Joe Flacco. Everybody. How about Ian Rappaport? Can I call out Ian Rappaport a little bit? I went on X, and Ian Rappaport, his headline was blockbuster trade. You talk about a clickbait topic. Blockbuster trade. I'm going, oh, damn. Who got traded? Joe Flacco? Are you kidding me? No disrespect to Delaware Joe. Okay? But again, that's a blockbuster? Come on, Ian. I know it. Like, Ian, do you really need the traffic, bro? Seriously. Do you really need the traffic that bad to throw a clickbait top out there like blockbuster trade? Oh my God. It's ridiculous. Good question, real fast. Let me talk because we're running backs. And again, if anybody has questions, bring them in, continue to ask. If you have any points you want to make, put them in the chat. Obviously, I love talking with the audience. It's why I miss being on Sirius. I loved my radio show. I hope they get it back one day. I hope they can be back hosting one day. I did it for 3 years. I loved every minute of it. It's just something that I love the call-ins, the truckers that were on the road. I love the people that were calling in from home, calling in when we were just getting debate. So I hope to make this Tony Cotillo Show YouTube page, the alternative edge right here, just like that. So Frizz says, should we be worried about Barkley and Saquon dealing with his injury? Number one, I'm worried about the entire Eagles offense. So I will say this. I'm not worried about the Barkley injury because he was at practice again. They've already said he's going to play. But it's very hard for you to draft Saquon or bench Saquon Barkley. The only thing I will tell you is it is a very, very short week, especially for a knee injury. And they're going to be without Landon Dickerson for at least 2 weeks. The offensive line has not played well. They've had their moments. So the Giants, one good thing about the Giants is they are good up front. So the only caveat here about Saquon Barkley is 2 things. Number one, he's unstoppable in the wheel route. So that's something that they've already shown the ability to run multiple times. But he's also very good in the passing game, what we're seeing. I know he'll drop every now and then, but the thing that I like about it is they're really starting to utilize him even more in the passing game. So that will basically deflect away from the low rushing totals, and it's been actually a savior for him for fantasy owners to at least get those big plays, because without them, it's been a very, very dismal year. Okay, and I said this. Now, I talk about the flip the script, right? Let's flip the script a little bit. Last year, when I was on the radio, every week on the radio, I kept saying, Saquon, best running back in fantasy football this year. Draft him as your number 1 overall running back. The second guy should be Derrick Henry. Draft Derrick Henry. And everybody was like, what? Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. And what happened? They finished 1 and 2. This year, I flipped the script. I said, yo, I'm not touching Saquon. I'm not touching Derrick Henry. Listen, it's a long year. Not just because of the 2,000 plus yards and the 300 plus carries, but a lot of it is just the long road, especially for Barkley going through the playoffs and the Super Bowl and everything and extracurriculars after that, man. Again, I will be honest with you. It was something I kind of hit the brakes on. So I'm kind of glad I didn't touch him. But, obviously as an Eagles fan, I want him to be productive, right? I mean, I definitely want him to be productive. So am I worried? Should we be worried about dealing with his injury? I definitely would be concerned a little bit just based on if you're starting him a short week and the Giants being really good up front. The only thing I would say is the possibility of him getting out in the flat and on those wheel routes is great. So that is something that could ease the concern just a little bit. My man JD checking in says, does Devontae Smith go off on the Giants this week or J.K. Dobbins for my flex player? 2 guys that have been really good, right? As of late. Now, J.K. Dobbins has been an ultimate find. J.K. Dobbins is, I'm telling you, as long as he can stay healthy, man. Like, I just need him to stay healthy. All right? We just need him to stay healthy. Because if he can stay healthy, Sean Payton will utilize him the right way. The only thing about him that scares me from a fantasy perspective is he's touchdown dependent. 4 out of 5 weeks, he scores a touchdown. And like no catches, man. RJ Harvey is always going to be that guy. That Sean Payton's always going to have that 1A and 1B. That's why I like RJ Harvey a lot. He's not going to be throwing screen passes and wheel routes and slants and posts to guys like J.K. Dobbins. So that's the only thing that scares me. The only thing. The thing that I do like about Devontae Smith is he showed this week that he could step up and be that guy. Still. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on with A.J. Brown. I don't know what's going on with the Eagles as a whole. Okay? I don't. But the thing about Devontae Smith is 2 out of the last 3 weeks, we're talking about 9 or 10 targets. That Tampa Bay game, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. But 2 out of the last 3, he's had double-digit targets. The one place the Giants can be beat is on the outside. They're good up front, right? They're good up front. And here's what I will say. The only thing, this is a tough one, JD, because I'm giving you everything here. The only thing that scares me about Devontae Smith in this game is A.J. Brown is the one guy that, again, if the slant is there to go up and get it balls, that just from a stronghold that are, again, quick and you don't have to wait, is going to be A.J. Brown. A lot of the routes that Devontae Smith runs, they take a long time to develop. He does those deep seam routes and those deep posts a lot. And with the injuries on the offensive line and the good defensive line play on a short week with the Giants, I would be a little concerned about Devontae Smith. I would be. Honestly, I would be a little bit concerned. So I know this is a tough call, man. Like, this is a tough call because again, you're going London for Denver, right? But it is the Jets. Did we see what happened last week with with Javonte Williams? And again, the way Dallas just kind of destroyed the Jets. The Jets are again, they're on hinge right now. I don't know what's going on with the Jets. So I think I would lean J.K. Dobbins. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's why I lean J.K. Dobbins. Because just look at the points. And I know I get long-winded, but I really like to give you as much as I can. If you look at the points, Devontae Smith, if I look at Devontae Smith's numbers, and I just say, if I take his targets and cut them in half, and just say 19 targets, take the 2 games of last 3 games, 19 targets, let's add it to 20, right? Let's just cut that in half to 10. Per game, that's 5. So if he gets 5 targets, his target to catch ratio is about 85%. So he's going to catch 3 of them. And his yards per catch, I'll take the average of 3 good games, which is about 14. Right? If I take 3 times 14, okay, that's 52. Right? So I take 52, so 3 catches for 52. If he doesn't score, that's 8 points. If J.K. Dobbins doesn't score, he's averaging 70 to 80 yards per game. He's going to get you 8. But the odds are that he scores higher than Devontae Smith. So I would go J.K. Dobbins. How's that? That's my best analysis. That's on the fly. That's on the fly. That's the way I do. That's the way I think. That's the way I think. It could be great. It could be shit. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm being honest, but that's the way that's the way I look at this. That's the way I look at this. So that's I would lean J.K. Dobbins. I would definitely lean J.K. Dobbins. My man Frisch checking in again. He says concern as in we should look to pick up A.J. Dillon or no. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't think I don't think you get, because the thing with the Eagles is they're such a weird team. Like, right, they're not running the ball now well anyway. Right? Like, if they were running the ball well, like extremely well, okay. Like, I see it, but they're not. So even if that, I don't think it's a concern. If I thought he wasn't practicing or was a little bit made about, I don't think it's a concern. I think I wouldn't waste a roster spot right now. Unless you're in a big league where you have like a bunch of stiffs on the bench, then yeah, why not? I would do it. But I would definitely, but here's the problem. If Saquon were to, if Saquon were to go down, it's going to be like a 3-week plan, right? It's going to be A.J. Dillon at first, and then it could be Tank Bigsby. Like, it's not going to be Tank over 8. Like, there's so many different scenarios with it. I wouldn't even get involved in it, to be honest with you. Awesome analysis. Thanks, Jigsaw. You got it, JD. Yo, man, I tried. Like I said, I think differently than a lot of people. Like, I'm not going to I want to say this, and I don't want to be disrespectful because there is some awesome. I don't call myself an analytical guy, but because there's some awesome analysts out there that will break you down percentages, that will break you down all these DVOA, all like all this kind of which is out of this world. It's great. Okay, I get it. For me, I keep it simple arithmetic. I keep it simple. Simple arithmetic is the way I keep this. I look at the numbers, I look at it and I go, okay, what's the defense? What's the last few games? What's the scheme? What's the weather? What's Vegas thinking over and under? And do I cut it in half? Do I boost it? That's kind of the way it is, man. That's kind of the way it is. Again, Tony Cotola right here on the Alternative Edge, where fantasy and insights meet value plays. This is a fantasy and sports betting show powered by our good friends over there at BetQL. And like as always, go get your 15% off code word Jigsaw. It's very, very simple. All you need to do, okay, is go over there and sign up and put the code word Jigsaw. You'll get 15% off. Very, very simple. Also, scan that QR code, get in the free Discord. You can hop in there. I'll be in there after the show. And there's also Underdog, like a lot of different promos in there that, again, you could take advantage of or not. Totally up to you. Okay. I like to put everything in there. And there's also a link. Listen, if you want to support the show, right? Because I was asked by a lot of people. A lot of people were like, hey, do you take donations? Do you take that? And I'm a very modest and prideful guy, man. Like I'm not, listen, I'm not doing this to ask people for donations, right? I have partners and I get it. But some people said to me, listen, I don't want to pay the partners. That's what they told me straight up. They're like, I don't want to pay the partners. I'd rather just throw you a donation. So I was like, all right, I guess like I'll do it. So there is a link in there to support the show. Very, very simple. Goes right to a PayPal. Boom. It's up to you. Again, whatever you want to do. I just put it all out there. That's all. Just put it all out there. Let's get into the wide receivers. And again, from week 5, I think the good thing is obviously Ibuka is going to continue to be Ibuka. And that dude, I should have listened to my son AJ, who told me in the beginning of the year, right in the preseason, Ibuka, I slept on him. He didn't. He's taking it straight to the bank. I'm taking it right in the ass. And it's very, very simple. He reminds me every single week. Make sure you tune into the Blades and Fade segment. That is father-son segment. Me and my son. It drops every Wednesday night. That'll be that'll be dropped tomorrow night. Very proud of my kid. He really wants to get involved into it. I have 2 great, fantastic boys that are heavily into it. One likes the mic, one likes the numbers. Okay, behind the scenes. So I plan to utilize both of them in some perspective going forward, which is going to be great. I just like to see them grow. It's really, really cool. Jamar Chase finally with the breakout. We saw that like JSN. We talked about the Sam Darnold effect, which is great. Stephon Diggs, buy it. Listen, is he a sell high candidate? Do you expect this from Stephon Diggs every week? I don't. I like him. I think he's going to be a good play, but I think this is the week where you can sell high, especially if you're hurting in a running back position. You're hurting in a running back position. He's a guy that you can sell high on. Absolutely. 100%. My man Japan checking in. What's up, Japan? What's up, my man? Puka, good week. They're your top 5. And then right below that, how about Kendrick Bourne? We talked about just going off. How about Rashid Shaheed? Called that. I don't know if you watched the show on Friday night, but I always do a preview show. We talked about this is going to be a Rashid Shaheed week. And we cashed in on Rashid Shaheed. Very, very simple. I talk about it all the time. I pick specific players, and I'll review them again on this week's show where we put in the bets and the DFS plays for Sunday. And Rashid Shaheed was one of my guys. Josh Downs was one of my guys. I said this will be a week where Josh Downs comes to play. Okay? This will be a week. And again, from DFS, I talked about Josh Downs saying, okay, Josh Downs is going to get a decent total, right? That's all I wanted. He got double digits, man. He didn't get a touchdown, but he gave you 12 points. Okay, well, you're talking 38 to 4,100 as a receiver in DFS. If you can get those 10 to 15 points without a tutty, man, you are rolling. Okay, that's what you want. So we did hit on them as well. Kate Otten was another guy that we were zoned in on. Let's see what Kate Otten looked at last week. Kate Otten again. Listen, 4 for 81, 12 points for Kate Otten. I think it was 3,300 as a tight end. Are you serious? Like, come on, man. Like that's how you win your DFS matchups. So that's what we do. That's the way we do things here on the alternative bets. That's the way we do things here on the alternative bets. 100%. Now, let's look at because I like to do this too. I looked at we talked about waivers. I'll say this. How about a very, very interesting play for Thursday night? Let's talk about the Thursday night game for a second. Okay. And I'm going to bring up BetQL for this. Let's, and I want to show you exactly what we do over here when we talk about getting involved into the actual game, man. Let's get involved into the actual game and the numbers. Okay. So let me take this off the screen here. All right, there we go. Gets us off the screen. So let's start a little background there so it doesn't look ridiculous. Okay. So let's go right to this. This we get BetQL. When you get to the model bets, it's not about what you should bet. It's about the numbers that they're giving you. Okay. Let's click right on the Eagles game. Obviously, you're going to see there's the consensus line. Do we look at the consensus? They only look at this as a 2-star rating spread. Okay. 2-star rating spread. They have the Eagles favored by 9, which is a 1.5 point difference from the current line of -7.5. So giving Giants getting 7.5. Interesting. So you go by the sharp, 74% of the sharp money's coming in on the birds. Okay. On the birds, 56% of the tickets when the betting market is coming in on the birds. Okay. Let's look at some of the prop bets. Now look at all these unders. Okay. Look at all these unders for the rushes from Jackson Dart, under 7.5. I like that number. I like that. It's a 5-star bet. Now, I want to tell you why I like this bet. Okay. I want to tell you. So let's just look at overall. Let's look at Jackson Dart's attempts in the run game. He has 17 in the last 2 weeks. The highest he's had is 10. Okay. Well, he's only played 2 weeks, but the highest first week is 10. Right away, let's run. Right. Pull it back a little bit, go to 7. He's facing Vic Fangio. Vic is, again, a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. Now, Japan's going over 18.5 pass completions at plus money right now. He's riding the plus money prop train early. And as you see, he's riding right here with BetQL. BetQL is their best bet of the Giants quarterback is over 17.5 at -130 over DK. It's a 4-star bet. Japan's going, I'm going up plus money. He's going plus 100 right there at over 18.5. He's notching up one more. So I kind of dig it, man. I like it because I do think they're going to make him stay in the pocket a little more. That's one thing about Fangio. Zach Bowen's going to have an assignment, right? He's going to have an assignment. He's going to be looking at and again, if anybody can do it, it could be Zach Bowen. He's been looking at this kid. Now, he may break containment and throw this all out the water when it comes to his rushing yards. So I know BetQL's got the under 37.5. I understand it. That will hit as long as he doesn't have that one big rush. But I like the under 7.5 rushes. That's almost plus money. So after this, I'm going to go look at that and see if I can get that at plus money. Because I do like that. I do like that a lot. Because I might even go under 6.5 because I don't think they're going to give him the ability to run. I don't. So I do like that. But I want to tell you one play that I really like. And as you see, these 5s this is a Thursday game. It's Tuesday. So you'll get more of these star bets on this game probably tomorrow. Okay, probably tomorrow. All right, so they fill in as the night goes on. So tomorrow you'll see a little more, especially on the Giants side for obviously Scatterboo, Singletary. But I like Tyrone. Looks like Tyrone Tracy is going to be available and it looks like he will possibly play. Okay. This was updated today, right? Updated today. It says he's optimistic Tracy will be able to play Thursday against the Eagles. This is from Evan Barnes of Newsday, per Paul Schwartz of the New York Post. It says he's obviously was a dislocated right shoulder. He says if Tracy ends up being cleared for week 6, which should happen tomorrow, he may have to settle for a secondary role out of the backfield behind Cam Scatterbo. That's fine. The reason why I think Tyrone Tracy Jr. will be a very, very sneaky DFS and betting play is because the Eagles have shown the lack of ability to cover the pass catching back out of the backfield, right? Harvey had a couple decent yardage plays against them. We know what happened with Bucky Irvin the week before in Tampa Bay. So I expect Tyrone Tracy to be deployed specifically as that pass getting back. It's not going to be Scatterbo. It's going to be Tyrone Tracy Jr. So as long as he's cleared, I think it is a sneaky play. We're going Jahan Dotson. I like that play. Over 7.5 receiving yards. I love that play. I love that play, Japan. I love that play. So yeah, Tyrone Tracy Jr., I'm going to look at as a very, very sneaky play. Like I said, you got to kind of read the room a little bit, right? You got to read the room a little bit and figure it out and say, you know what? What could be? It's a Thursday night game. What could be different? And I think if he gets cleared, I think that is exactly what happens. And again, I've been wrong before, right? I've been wrong before. It could happen. I don't know, but I really like Tyrone Tracy Jr. In that matchup for that specific reason. For that specific reason. Now let's get into before we get out of here. Always keep this about an hour. Give me some time to cut this up. Again, I love doing this. I used to do a 2-hour show. The way I'm thinking, I used to do a 2-hour show on Sirius. And the way I look at this is I get an hour, 1-hour show for the recap, and 1-hour show for the betting going forward. And that's usually Friday nights. So there's my 2 hours just broken up into 2 shows. So we're going to get more segmented as well going forward. But again, any questions you have, pop them in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. As always, right here on the Tony Cotillo Show. This is the alternative edge, the fantasy and sports betting portion of the Tony Cotillo Show, because I'm an actual show host of a show that actually does the numbers and that doesn't throw bullshit out there because I have a promo code. These are stuff that I actually do and I bet myself. How many show hosts are showing you slips? Just throwing it out there. How many are showing your slips? Just throwing it out there. And I don't care about what they bet. What I'm saying is I don't give out things and not bet them. Right? I don't give out things and not bet them. And I'm not talking about jigsaw crazy parlays either. I'm just talking about straight up bets, not for the game, but straight up props that you really, really dive into and give a good analysis on why you like it. So we need more of that, people. We need more of that. So let's look at real fast. Let's look at some rest of the way rankings. And the reason why I like this is because this will give you kind of a betting perspective in the prop market on guys you look at, like who's going to be those top 5, top 10 guys. And I look at the quarterbacks, and obviously I talked about Dak Prescott, right? I think, rest of the way, he is obviously a top 10, could finish as a top 6 or 7 fantasy quarterback, because you got guys like Lamar Jackson, is going to miss time. We don't know what's going on with that offense. That defense is so bad. The offensive line doesn't look great. So I don't know how good we can expect the Baltimore Ravens to be going forward. I don't know where his head's at. Jaden Daniels, he needs to stay healthy. We'll see what happens. He's always losing a receiver, it seems like. So again, I don't know. So I think that you could take Dak Prescott and push him right up and elevate him in that right behind Josh Allen. And Jalen Hurts is always going to be up there in that kind of tier 2 area because he just gets those push touchdowns at the end of the day. My man Bob Hope checking in. Is that you, Bob? No, I'm just kidding. Bob says Sutton, Myers, Keenan Allen, Swift in my flex PPR and pick up Pitts or Taylor Haskins or Vidal Thanks. Wow, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people for your flex PPR spot, man. That's a lot of people. I will tell you, man, honestly, again, man, I was big on Cortland Sutton. Let's just look at it this way. The way I answer these questions is like this. I look at who I don't like. Okay. So DeAndre Swift, again, he is boomer bust all the time. He scares me, right? He definitely scares me. I don't know how much we can trust him. Now that game should be, like we talked about, it's over and under a 50, right? 50 and a half, whatever it is. That's a big number. So Vegas is talking. Okay. Vegas is talking. But again, I'm not sold. Okay. I'm not sold on DeAndre Swift. So Jacoby Myers, it's very easy to look at Geno Smith and say, what the hell is going on? I want no part of Jacoby Myers right now. Zero. We already see it's going to be the Ashton Genty show, and it should be. I think Chip is finding it out that Geno Smith stinks. Okay, Geno Smith stinks. So I am not in on Jacoby Myers. I love Cortland Sutton. And again, they're playing the Jets. But that game could get out of hand so easily to where Cortland Sutton could become a non-factor. That's the thing. Like, you have to look at this in that perspective. For me personally, it's Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen just can listen. Keenan Allen, again, how about the quickest to the reception record, man? Like, I would have never guessed that. Like, again, I would have never guessed that. But looking at, again, that team and seeing that they have the injury to Omari Hampton, and looking at what they're going to want to do, it just means they're probably going to throw the ball even more. But he's steady. Like, again, I got to look at volume here, and he's steady. 27 targets in 3 games. Like, 27 in 3 games. That's 9 a game. All right. And even without a touchdown, he's giving you 8 to 10 to 12 points on a PPR format. So I think I trust him, right? I do. I trust Keenan Allen in that role. So for me, and listen, I love Kyle Pitts. But it's hard for me to put that a flex guy as my tight end, and I understand that but again, weird things happen after a bye week. I'm just going to throw it out there. Weird things happen after a bye week. So again, I love Cortland Sutton. He was one of my guys. So I'm actually going to tell you that I go Sutton first and Allen second. I don't care whether that game's out of hand or not. Games have gotten out of hand for Denver. It doesn't matter to me. They're coming off an emotional win. Okay, this dude, like, they're finding out they can just throw the ball up to this cat, and he's going to go up and get it. Right? He listen, Peyton had Michael Thomas, right? He can't catch Mike, right? He had Michael Thomas. He's utilizing Cortland Sutton eventually into that role. So I'm going to go Cortland Sutton number 1 and Keenan Allen number 2. And Bob Hope, I hope, no pun intended, that helps you. Again, because you just got to look at the targets and the yardage, right? Keenan Allen, here's the thing about Keenan Allen. He's not going to get the yardage that goes long, but Sutton's going to get the yardage that goes long, plus across the middle, plus to the sideline. So Sutton's my guy against the Jets, against Sauce. I don't care. I am going in on Cortland Sutton 1 and Keenan Allen 2. So let me know how you make it out. Make sure you like and subscribe, as always. Like and subscribe to the show. Much appreciated. Looking at those receivers, like Cortland Sutton, the rest of the way, is going to be a top 10 guy. All you need to do is go watch my preseason talk, where I told everybody, man, like, everybody's talking about Cortland Sutton in the like 20 range, 25. I said, you guys are out of your mind. That's a top 10, possibly a top 8 wide receiver for Cortland Sutton. And again, this year, he's proven it. So that's definitely a guy that I like going forward for sure. 100%. Now, looking at the tight end, there's going to be some, again, tight end, certain guys, I talked about it. Ferguson, Jake Ferguson's the top 5 tight end going forward. Like, he's a top 5 tight end going forward. And I will say this too, man. I would definitely take a look at Mason Taylor. Like, Josh, or I always say Josh, Justin Fields is going to throw to that tight end. The Jets are going to have a lot of garbage time. They're always going to be in. I mean, look, he's got 19 targets in 2 weeks, man. Like, that's no secret what they're trying to do. Like, they again, it's Garrett Wilson. It's going to be Mason Taylor. Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor. So I like Mason Taylor could rest away, could finish as a top 10 tight end. And that would be absolutely huge for somebody you get off of waivers, right? For somebody you get off of waivers. Bob Hope, you're absolutely welcome. All right, man. I'm going to get out of here, man. We're going to close this out. Again, we talked a lot of different things on this show, which I like. I always like to go about an hour. We always talk about it. That's a wrap for this edition of the Alternative Edge. Obviously, powered by our great partner over there at BetQL. Make sure you sign up. Or if you're going to sign up, make sure you use that word, because I won't say make sure you sign up. If you were to go sign up, okay, make sure that you follow them on X at BetQL app. Want to give them a follow. And again, if you got value from today's show, if you got insight from today's show, hit that subscribe button, hit that like. Obviously, check out all the stuff in the QR code, all the links, all the promos to stay ahead each week. Drop your edge pick of the week in the comments. I want to try to start doing that. Okay. I want you, if you're watching this on replay, okay, drop your edge pick of the week in the comments so I can feature it on the next episode. I want to start featuring the edge pick of the week, not from me, but from the audience, the edge pick of the week. So again, next time we're breaking down the biggest mismatches heading into the week, which is going to be week 7, right? Because the rewind is going to be week 7, including maybe a DFS stack that nobody's talking about. I don't know. But one thing I don't do is, obviously, I don't do stacks. I do DFS gems, right? DFS value plays, the alternative edge value play, the AEVP. That's hit 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row we've hit that. So again, until then, as always, man, stay sharp, stay confident, and like I always say, always play with an edge.